do have a quorum, so we will proceed, and I will, I'm sure, catch up with her after the meeting. Is anyone here for public comment? If not, we'll move to, let me make a comment before I go any further. We've been trying very hard. We've been spending time in to be sure that our agendas are posted in time, and that's the easy part, but it's also to be sure that all the packet information is in the agendas when they are posted, so they're available to everyone. And this last time, because of that, blame it on the storm, was probably not realistic, but we probably struggled more than most of getting our agenda items in on time and making it easy to get them posted. So working with Bob, what I'd like to do is be sure that we're more rigid on our agenda planning. And what I'm suggesting, and again, Bob, thank you for drafting the initial part of this. What I'd like to have is the trust members send me and Bob the agenda items by the Monday, the week prior to the meeting. And input those by email, please. That way we have a record of the on file. And so that gives us at least a week before the meeting and have our agenda items in place, so we can give them to Bob can work with Judy to be sure they're posted. Mm-hmm. There are times when we'll need to call a special meeting, and those times we ask that that item be to us and ready to post at least 48 business hours before the meeting. And we'll try very hard to hold people accountable to that, so and so we can make our meetings a little more structured than possibly we've got in the past, with a lot of information coming to us, especially a lot of letters and stuff that they get posted in a timely fashion. In saying that, there are times when I'll ask for a spatial item, or at least in addition to an agenda item, based on timing. And unfortunately, it's going to make me seem like a bit of a hypocrite, because after voicing these rules, and we'll put this in writing as well, I'm going to ask at the end of the meeting that we address the item with Penrose that I just got this morning. And as part of it fits our Penrose topic in general, but the reason I'm going to ask for that we discuss that is a request that we support a funding letter to Senator Keating's office. And the deadline for that is actually tomorrow. And so we don't have time, but I'll get into that as we go forward. Okay, any comments on that? New business item then, executive session minutes. And Bob, you've been putting this together?
Yes. Very simply, what happened was last summer, there was a Freedom of Information Act action that was presented to the town clerk that made us search back through all of our minutes and agendas to be sure that every executive session had a corresponding set of executive session minutes. And in doing our search, we found 5 sets of minutes that noted in an executive session, and 5 agendas, that noted in an executive session, and 5 sets of minutes that did not show a set of executive session minutes. So we've been doing some work to retrieve that information, and the first set of minutes that I would like to review are July 9th. In the agenda for July 9th, there was an executive session noted. However, in the minutes, it makes clear that that executive session was actually canceled.
Yeah.
So there is no need to have minutes.
I did check my notes in the executive session at the time where we had a suggestion by our assessing department
Mhm.
to discuss possible affordable housing property tax exemption.
Mhm.
That the initial request is felt it might be better in exemption session, but you're correct. After actually Richard Wastack's initial request, it was decided that it wasn't necessary to be in the executive session, so there was no discussion.
Right. So I will make a note of that and provide that to the town clerk. Okay? The second set of minutes that I was looking at and retrieved pertain to work that we did on July 30th of 2024, and it is my impression and recollection, and I'll ask Larry and Brendan if they concur, in that Jeff was not on the board at that time. He can't really offer much,
Yeah.
although he probably could offer an opinion. Maybe not.
Which is typically not much.
So there was an executive session called on July 30th, and it's my belief that our work that day in executive session was constructing a set of guidelines and questions to be asked and as part of the request for proposal development for 456 Queen Anne Road.
Right. And that's, my notes are along that line. The meeting was to discuss the three, the questions, and then we had three proposals at the time for 456 Queen Anne Road.
But they hadn't come in yet.
And no, we just discussed those, no vote was taken. We did authorize to move forward with the RFP.
We did authorize
Yeah.
going forward with the
Yeah.
RFP. That's my recollection, too.
And then we scheduled a possible vote for August 13th, the next meeting, actually.
So, to that point, I would make the following motion, speaking to the missing executive session meeting minutes for the Harwich Affordable Housing Trust meeting on July 30th of 2024. I move that the three participating Harwich Affordable Housing Trust members who were present, that being Larry Ballantyne, Bob Spencer, and Brendan Lowney, and participating in the July 30th, 2024 meeting of the Affordable Housing Trust, are in consensus agreement that the essence of this executive session was a discussion with Laura Schaufelt from the Massachusetts Housing Partnership relative to the development of a request for proposals for the development of Harwich Affordable Housing Trust property at 456 Queen Anne Road. The reason for the executive session was to avoid giving an unequal advantage to any developer that might be considering submitting a proposal. No votes were taken.
Right, and that's correct. Okay.
Could I have a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Thank you,
Abstain.
Bob. And one abstention.
Very good. Thank you very much. I'll be back next month with 3 more sets of minutes,
Okay, we can hardly wait.
I'm sure.
Thanks, Bob.
Thank you very much, Bob.
You're welcome.
Next on the agenda is a review for February 9th minutes. Are there any comments?
I do have comments in section 4 under old business, where the first paragraph is Mr. Spencer moved to approve the minutes of 1/12/26, noting that the written form of the motion that was made will be attached to the minutes. That written form of the motion was not attached to these minutes, so I want to make sure that we do attach that to the minutes.
Okay.
And the same holds true with the second paragraph, just right below that, relative to the minutes of January 14th, with the same proviso that the motion to approve will be attached to the minutes. So that's just a piece of detail that I want to work out with our recording secretary to make sure that the minutes are in the form that we want.
So,
We'll just bring it back.
can your
next time.
motion, well, you can, or you can make your motion contingent on the addition of those,
I'll make the motion contingent upon the connection of those documents.
okay?
And what about them being in the packet? We're gonna also start including them in the packet?
The minutes? We can,
Yeah.
yeah,
I think we should do that.
yeah,
Yeah.
Moving forward.
yep.
Is there a second?
Second.
Any other discussion? Any, all in favor?
Aye.
That's everyone, so there's no abstention that time. Thank you, Bob.
Mhm.
Next on business was Brianna had asked about a request for funding for the shared regional housing services. Brenda has asked, Brenda, the housing advocate, has asked us to postpone that discussion, and so we shall do so. Old business, first on our agenda, we're ahead of schedule, is Lisa Mead's going to join us on the Harwich Junior Theater, but she could not be here until 1:30. So I'd like to move on to, and she's also, will probably not have much to say because she hasn't got started yet, but a little bit on the Bassett Lane review. So I'd like to next move to the CPA, updated CPA funding. And very briefly, the CPC committee at their last meeting approved funding for $650,000 to go to the, to be placed on the warrant. And so that's the next, I know the select board gives an opinion, but it doesn't affect what the motion is. And I don't think, Jeff, I don't think the select board has taken positions on CPC articles yet.
Not yet.
But that will be the discussion at the annual town meeting of that funding. And it'll be, quite frankly, somewhat contentious because some people aren't in favor of the monies, some of the monies we've committed. So that will be an interesting discussion.
Mr. Chair, if I could ask you a question, and mostly for the public's information, but the $650,000 that was approved by CPA, is that specific to any one project?
It's not. It was, that was a, as Brendan knows, now that you weigh out the comment, 'cause that was a primary, interesting enough, that was a primary discussion point. Because it surprised me a little, they didn't discuss too much the 650, the amount. But there was, I guess in a previous meeting, Jenny, you can confirm this after, but there was a suggestion that may be directed. But at their last meeting that I attended, there was a very strong feeling that was not their duty. In fact, it violated the trust document if the CPA tried to direct our activities.
Mm-hmm.
And so that was in the end, it was unanimous that they not try to direct that money. Now, informally, our obligation is to keep CPC committee informed of our activities.
Mm-hmm.
And so informally, they know we've been allotting about $150,000 of that for rental assistance. But that's to keep them informed of how we're spending our money. It's not a directive.
Thank you. I think that was an important point to clear up for the
Yeah.
public.
Brendan, you have anything?
No, I recently watched the meeting again last night, and I believe it was Mr. Kitchen that actually points out, that we should just be giving them the lump sum, and we should not be telling them how to spend their business. Now, it'd be up to us to say, hey, we're using the money for this, but they decided just to keep business as usual, so.
Bob, any comment on that?
No comment.
No, thank you for that, Jeff. We need to clear that up because that
Thank
was
you.
that was primary
Can
discussion.
I add a quick thing? Maybe Jeff would know this. On the agenda for CPC this Thursday, they have a discussion, a possible vote on presented project applications, and we're listed again. I think that's an error on there.
I think it is because they voted once. I don't think they'll vote
Yeah,
again.
maybe it was just double posted. Okay.
Okay. We're going through this surprisingly fast.
Well,
Hang on with us.
What about 4C?
I'm going to trust documenting documents. Yeah, that's why we're going so fast. I'm skipping documents. You have in your packet, and thank you, Jeff, for raising this and raising it to the select board. We do have a legal document that you all have in front of you. Jeff, I do like to pick on you, but let me ask you, where does this stand with the select board? Did they vote to put this as a warrant article?
We have not voted on this article yet. I would assume that tonight, this potentially may get placed
Okay,
and then asked for the support of the select board.
yeah.
But as of right now, I think we've only placed and support and given, weighed in on our support on, I believe, 8 or 10.
Okay,
And this is not one of them
Okay.
yet.
thank you
But
for that.
I strongly believe
Yep.
that it will have the support of the select
Okay.
board.
Just so we're all on the same page, let me just quickly review what the essence is we're trying to bring this amendment would bring the Housing Trust in line with our other committees. And that it would be if this were a pass, and I'll paraphrase, it'd be a 5-member committee appointed by the by the select board with and once the committee is formed, the trust would then, as other committees do, they would by vote decide who their chair is, basically officers. We would include the town administrator as a non-voting member. And the reason for that is, and I think the logic behind having the town administrator appoint the chair before was be sure we had a clear link to the town staff.
Mhm.
And this provides that through the member of the town administrator or his designee as a non-voting member, that we're still connected to the town staff. Jeff was putting this together. I will note that this is in line with, I think, most of our neighboring towns. There's some variances in how they on how they appoint members, but they're all appointed with the town administrator as a non-voting member. So it seems to me to be the best of both worlds. It gets us back into on how our committees are handled. Jeff, did I paraphrase that okay? Can you add to it?
You did perfectly, and the only thing I would add is the KP Law also updated the document to read Select Board instead of Selectmen.
Right.
And I think that was a smart move on their part that we didn't even ask for.
Yeah, good. And
And also, Larry, I don't think it says anything about how the chair is selected. I don't think that's part of this.
There is no language in there.
no language for that,
Yeah.
because that leaves it open for us to reorganize as we,
Only because you mentioned it, that's
right.
all.
thank
Yeah,
you.
by the removal of the town administrator or his designee shall be
Yeah.
the chair.
Right.
This opens it up to function as
Mhm.
all the other committees and boards that we have.
Yeah.
Excellent.
If I might. There was difficulty in publishing this in advance in the agenda packet. And if anyone is interested in some deep-level reading, there's some copies made available right here on the corner of the desk. So,
And just for to be complete, we will publish this as part of our minutes.
yes.
Okay, thank you. I did, and this will also be in our minutes, I did update our financial status based on information I've gotten from the Treasury Office as of March 6th, this is must be Thursday, right? And this is a combination, so just to review this, we had prior fund balance, we had a little over $957,000. We have transferred $1.5 million from the stabilization fund that was voted on at our last town meeting, and $500,000 of CPA funds that were also voted on our last town meeting. So our fund, basically our income statement has a little over $2 million in it. Our expenses were $54,000 and change. A lot of that is an increase from what I presented before because we had additional, our rental assistance program we have is going well with our expectations. We're helping 9 families in rental assistance, which is then costing us about a little under $500,000 a month, $5,000 a month in rental assistance. And so that's one of our major expenses. Question always comes up, are we getting interest from our accounts? And we are. This last update, we had a little over $2,000 in interest. So combining that, our fund balance going forward in this last month's balance, we have a net revenue of $1.9 million, and our fund balance is $2.9 million. Now, a lot of that's been committed. We have $1.375 million committed to the West Harwich Square. We have $500,000 committed to the 456 Queen Anne Road project, which is interesting. Once we sign the lease, we have listed as an asset $800,000 because they've committed to then pay us $800,000 upon signing of the lease. And then our last meeting, we committed $1 million to the Pine Oaks 4 project. And of course, that much committed, but also very contingent on taking action on, help me out, 120 some ZBA contingencies they have, and then having multiple steps of showing progress in making that happen. So that's where we are at the moment. Any comments, discussions? I do want to thank our treasury, Jen, of course, and Catherine, who provided me last Friday with income statements and balance statements for the last 5 months, which quite frankly overwhelmed me. I tried to put it in spreadsheets so I could, which I did, but it's still not useful. But we'll be getting these each month, and I'll be sharing those with the committee each month. Okay? Any discussion on that? Bob, anything more?
No, I just need a clean copy so I can attach those to the minutes.
Oh, I got it right here in front of me.
Great. Thank you. Okay.
Larry, thoughts about getting in front of CPC to present the new numbers?
Yeah.
Can we do that?
Yeah. I'll get us on the schedule so we bring them up to speed.
Great.
We have our attorney.
We do. Next on the, we'll go back to review of the Harwich Junior Theater. And we have attorney Lisa Mead online. Lisa, it's nice to, at least not in person, but at least we get a chance to see each other and on video. We've asked,
almost in person.
almost in person. We've asked Lisa and her firm to review the lease documents of the Harwich Junior Theater. And I've probably sent Lisa more information than you care to know about, but I've sent you a lot of documents to go through. I think the primary purpose of this meeting will be, like Lisa, if you give a chance of telling us where you are, and then I know what one thing she wanted to do was to have all of us weigh in of what our main interest is that we clarify in this review. Lisa, you want to make some
Right.
opening comments?
Yeah, so I did want to hear that. I wanted to hear what the goal of the trust was. Clearly, the lease agreement is in effect. You've got a few more years on it, to say the least. And, you've got a lot of responsibilities under the lease for the care and uptake of the building. And from my perspective, I have a concern that an affordable housing trust would own a commercial building that you're going to be, I think, probably putting some money into that's not producing affordable housing. And I know it's on the same property that you have plans to create affordable housing, but I wanted to kind of hear from all of you about the lease and your thought about that use and how it relates to what you want to do with the rest of the property.
Thank you, Lisa. I'm going to open it up then. Bob, I'll start with you, and then we'll get each one's comments.
Hi, Lisa. I'm Bob Spencer. It's good to have you here with us. My principal concern is to clarify what the responsibilities will be of the leaseholders as well as the leasees. This lease was transferred to us with the property at 265 Sisson Road, and upon that transfer, nothing was done to update the lease or to pay any attention to the matter, which I think is unfortunate. So we're in a place where we need to be clear about what our expectations are and what our responsibilities are. The lease is full of jargon that talks about the town, and the town is no longer involved. So that needs to be cleaned up. And do we expect that the Affordable Housing Trust will simply assume all of the obligations and responsibilities that were put upon or agreed upon by the town? I don't think that we can actually afford to do that. So I am of the opinion that we need to renegotiate this lease on different terms in order to have a meaningful relationship with the Junior Theater and the Affordable Housing Trust going forward.
Yep. All very legitimate concerns.
Yes. Thank you, Bob. Brendan, I'll just go down the table.
I'm working on something. Can you come back to me?
Yeah, I can. Jeff?
Sorry. I'm busy.
Lisa, thank you for being here. I think this is something that I've been wanting to wrap my arms around for quite a while. And you ask a great question of the trust, right? Which is, what is the trust looking for from you? What is the trust looking for as the desired outcome, as a lessor and lessee relationship with the Harwich Junior Theater, which clearly, and I want to make it clear, means an awful lot to this town. The Harwich Junior Theater is, I would say, as big of a part of the fabric of the town of Harwich as any other part of this town. So there's a rich history there, and I want to make that clear. And I think, at least my intention, I won't speak for the rest of the board members, but it's not to cause a disruption, but to get it right. And I believe that that we've been operating for several years with taxpayer money subsidizing, and this is more of a question than it is a statement, but I believe, just through my research and reading, that taxpayers are still subsidizing the Harwich Junior Theater when the town of Harwich is no longer the rightful owner and does not have care, custody, and control of the property. So that's a question that I would like answered first. And then to continue, if I may, Mr. Chair, is the Harwich Junior Theater current with their obligation financially to the town of Harwich? And in my opinion, we need to stop, if there is involvement of the town of Harwich financially, that needs to end immediately. So that the taxpayers understand that they're not subsidizing anything that's not an asset of their own. And then lastly, and I'll have a little bit more here as we go. But lastly, I'd like to get a good understanding of what it costs to operate the junior theater on an annual basis. And I'd like to know how the lease that's in place right now, even though it speaks to the town as the lessor, I'd like to understand whether or not what's being charged annually for the lease is actually covering its obligations. And to your point, which I think is a good one, a strong point, which is, you know, does the trust have the means to take care of, you know, the maintenance and the things that come with owning a property? And if it doesn't, if this trust doesn't have the means to do it, or we don't want to do it, or a combination of the two, what's our path forward so that all parties can enjoy a relationship that works for everybody? So that's where I sit right now, and I think I'll probably have a little bit more as we go.
Yeah.
Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Thank you, Jeff. Brendan?
I thought differently on this, on a lot of, and I agree with everything you said, Jeff, but I thought this was a little bit simpler than we're making it out to be. I just thought once we were given the property, we would become the landlords. Now, of course, in the leases, it does say that it refers to the tenant has to go to the select board. Obviously, that language would have to be changed. But, you know, we would have to go through each, who's responsible for what, where, and when. I think we'd have to go through those details. But to renegotiate it, I never really thought that was an option. I thought we were just cleaning up some of the language and moving forward, and the lease days to 2034, 32. I thought it was just a simple process, and, you know, I've been working on this for almost 5 years. So I just wanted to at least get past that hurdle. If we want to renegotiate the lease, that would be a different story altogether. You know, and then to Jeff's point about work that was being done, we definitely don't want the taxpayers being involved in paying for that. So we would be the landlords, we would be accepting responsibilities under the lease as it states. So that's kind of where I was.
Okay,
Just a
good.
little simpler process, but to at least get past that hurdle first.
Lisa, I'm hoping this helps, but, and as I think we mentioned as well, I keep looking forward, is there any hope of, say, putting out an RFP that would maybe developer be interested in some housing with the contingent that they they support the junior theater. I have no idea whether there's anything goes with that, but that's looking forward. I'll let you respond to the best way to respond to the questions that my fellow trust members have.
Yeah, so, I
Lisa,
mean,
let me just interrupt
yeah, go ahead.
briefly. I do have 4 members of the trust of the junior theater here as well, so they'll have a chance to speak to this as well before we're done.
okay. So the town deeded over the property to you, and along with that came the lease. There wasn't I didn't see a technical assignment of the lease, if you will. But the town has they can't lease the building anymore because they don't own the property, right? So technically the lease is now yours. And so you do, as the last member stated, you do step into the shoes of the town. I'll have to reach out to Tony to see if there's anything that the town is doing financially right now for this building. I don't know that. I certainly haven't gotten that far with this. As the lease exists today, there are a lot of responsibilities by the landlord related to capital and upkeep of the building, for sure. And I'm happy to delineate all of those for you. And there are requirements that the tenants do the same thing, right? There's some on the exhibit that very clearly outlines who's responsible for what. There is those are the responsibilities of either party. So that needs to be upheld. And then certainly the rent is based upon basically a percentage of tickets or something like that, but it's based upon a percentage as opposed to a flat monthly rental payment. And I think, I think that you can be creative, and I hear in some of you, I hear the concern that the theater is important to the community, and then you balance that against the responsibilities of the Affordable Housing Trust. And so I have a community that's similar, and we kind of work through it. So if you are thinking about, so I'm just give you an example of some of the things you can think about and be creative in this. So the junior theater's lease is, let's say nobody wants to renegotiate it and everybody wants to keep it the same and everybody stays in their corners. The lease is up in 34. And so in the meantime, let's say you want to develop the rest of the property as affordable housing. You can go ahead and do that. And it, as you know, it takes a long time to get things done, right? You got to do the project, you got to go out to bid, you got to get permitting, and then they have to build it. And so maybe by the time you're almost done, the lease is almost up as well. I mean, that's 8 years away, but it could be close. You could also find somebody to sell the whole property to say that, this is the process that's going to happen, but it's going to be subject to the lease until such time as the lease is up. And then that person purchasing it would have the obligations of the landlord at that time. Obviously, that would go against the purchase price, and it would impact the purchase price one way or the other. So I think that you can look at it in a couple of different ways, but I do think that on first blush, the lease agreement is a valid document and you're bound by it. And absent a negotiation to the contrary, we need to figure out how to move forward with it.
Thank you, Lisa. I do like, and I think it reflects one of Jeff's questions as well. The starting point would be a listing, if you suggested, who's doing what to whom, so we know exactly who's paying what.
Right.
That would help.
Yeah, so I can get that from Tony for sure.
Yeah, and unfortunately, Tony's left us now.
Okay, so I can get it from whoever would be in that.
We do have a new town administrator starting, I think, next week, Jeff?
Yes, the 16th.
The 16th, which, so we'll have someone we'll give you his name, but so we probably need to give him a day or two to at least know where the bathrooms are before we.
Probably.
contact him, but he'll be.
I can talk to the treasurer. The treasurer and the accountant are going to know the answers to these questions.
Okay, I'll email you her, who she is and her address, and let her know that you'll be contacting her.
Okay, that's great.
Before we move on here, let me give you a chance for, is anyone from the junior theater, you care to comment on any of this? Chuck, go ahead, just.
Hi, Chuck Alexander, East Harwich, on the Board of Directors of the Harwich Junior Theater. Here with me are Dinah Lane, our Board President, Jen Pina, our Producing Artistic Director, and my colleague on the board, Susan Kossoff. Just want to say that obviously the facility at 265 Sisson Road is critical to our operation, to our ongoing education program, and we're interested in participating in the discussion and doing whatever is necessary and appropriate to keep moving forward. And I think others here may have something to add. I don't know if anyone wants to add to those comments.
Chuck, hang on just a second. My question won't take that long to answer. Is it okay if Lisa contacts you directly, or who should they contact to get some of the information we've asked about?
I could act as contact person and then work with my colleagues.
So I
on the
work with you,
board.
Lisa. We have a contact at Junior Theater to answer some of the questions.
Yeah, that would be great. Perhaps you could send me that information on
I'll
my
send
email.
you that as well. Okay. Thank you, Chuck.
Thanks. Jen, did you want to speak?
Hi, I'm Jen Pina, the Producing Artistic Director. I just wanted to say this is my first time attending one of these meetings. And I'm so appreciative of the level of professionalism and care, and Jeff, particularly your mention of the way that the theater, which has been around, this is our 75th season, Lisa, so we've just been a part of the fabric of the town for so long. I just wanted to say thank you formally for your partnership and understanding. We're so grateful.
Okay, thank you. Anyone else? Just to reiterate what Jeff said, we're certainly in uniform agreement that the junior theater is very important to the town. We'll on that premise, but thank you for that. Bob, sure.
Bob Doan in Howard Center, and I was the original person that negotiated this lease with the town. And I do want to make sure that, I know I sent you, Larry, the original foundation of how this all happened, and it was by a town meeting vote to split the building into cultural necessity and the property into, or the parking lot into housing. And it was set up that way initially. So I think that has to be thought of. Now, the other thing I haven't heard mentioned is it possible to break it off that the building is given back to the town and you just keep the parking lot and do your housing?
So if I can I address that? Because I think that's a really good point, Mr. Doan. It would have, the building would have to meet the zoning requirements. If you were to A&R the building, the lot that the building's on, and I haven't done a zoning review of this, but you would have to meet the zoning requirements. And so if it didn't include, the appropriate setbacks and the lot size and frontage and everything, we would have to get zoning relief. It's one of those issues that if it were required to get variances all around, one would think that the zoning board might be supportive of such a thing for the purpose that everybody's talking about. So I think there's a lot of creative ways that this can be approached, I guess, is what I'm trying to say.
Okay,
Can I add?
that's it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Bob, well, just a second. Bob, you have?
No, I'm done.
Plus, it probably wouldn't be in our interest to give up any of the land because it would reduce our lot and building coverage or potential septic systems that we would need in the future and parking. So it probably wouldn't be in our interest to do that as well.
Okay. Thank you.
In saying that though, Lisa, I think right now we're looking at all creative solutions.
Yep. Yeah, so I think if it's okay with the board, what I'll get back to you on, or with the trust, is obviously the finances that I can find out from the accountant and the treasurer. And then I will give you the specifics on the lease, what your authority is, how it was assigned, whose responsibility is what, and then how it relates to, from a zoning perspective, to the remainder of the property, if that is acceptable to the trust.
Okay, let me, I'm gonna start, Jeff, with you first. I'm going down the other order this time.
Thank you. All good information. I think, to your point, my mother-in-law was hugely involved. So if I didn't say that it was part of the fabric, my front door probably wouldn't open tonight when I got home. But it's, everything I said is 100% true and accurate, and I believe the whole town of Harwich feels that way. That being said, I don't think this trust has ever received any payments, any offsetting income to, I think, and as far as with Lisa going to our town accountant and our finance director, I think everything still is between the town of Harwich and the trust. I'm sorry, in the junior theater.
Yeah, right.
And again, it's all about understanding where we are now, getting the taxpayers out from underneath the burden of subsidizing an asset of the Affordable Housing Trust, and then seeing how we can all move forward as a partnership. And, certainly if we were to begin to develop the property, that could certainly help offset, any help that we would have to give to the junior theater. So all the cards need to be put on the table so we know, so we're well informed to make a decision as to how this can work going forward.
Thank you, Jeff. Brendan?
Question for Lisa. Lisa, if we assume the lease, well, we have assumed the lease, is it as simple as an amendment to the lease, or are we going to rewrite the lease to change the language and who the landlord is? Because you do have the select board reference in the lease. So let's say everything stays the same. Is it just a hey, Junior Theater, we're just gonna cross this out, or we're gonna amend that, just so you know who you're gonna be speaking to, or who you're sending your payments to.
Yeah, it would be, under an assignment, you would just step into the shoes. You wouldn't actually have to change the language, but it may be beneficial for somebody, looking back in 5 years to do an agreed upon clarifying amendment, so to speak, that recognizes that it's the Affordable Housing Trust in the place of the town, and then the trustees themselves in the place of the select board.
Okay.
Just an acknowledgement then. Okay.
Is there any, I see we have a new audience. Richard, you wanted to speak to this?
Just here to support.
Thank you for that. Is there any more for Lisa?
Yeah.
I think this is a good initial step.
Well-
Lisa,
Okay, great.
how about timing? When would you think you'd be able?
Can you hold off on that just a minute?
I can.
I've got a question that's not yet been asked.
Well, ask.
How would you approach renegotiating this lease with the junior theater?
Well, it's like any contract, right? It has to be mutually agreed upon. You can't force such a renegotiation. So once we look at it and we look at the numbers, then you can have a conversation with them about what they are and whether they're willing to renegotiate the responsibilities under the lease or the payments. That can all go to longevity, right? Of the lease terms and what you're going to do with the rest of the property. So both parties have to be agreeable to sit down and renegotiate the lease.
Okay. Is that it, Bob?
For now.
Well, I think Lisa, do you need more information from us?
No, I would, let me just throw something out that I think that's interesting, and I'm going to tell you about this without having done all of this research yet. So there's a thing called the Anti-Aid Amendment in
Anti-what amendment?
Massachusetts. The Anti-Aid Amendment. And one of the things I get concerned about when I look at a lease of this nature is I always think about the Anti-Aid Amendment, and it goes to Bob's question. So a municipality can't provide funding to a nonprofit or private corporation unless they're getting something in return. So, for example, the town couldn't write a check out to XYZ Corporation just because they thought they were a really good corporation, or the town can't write a check out to the ARC just because they thought that the ARC was a really good company, a nonprofit that supported services for developmentally disabled folks in their community, right? So you always have to look at one of those things when you're looking at a lease or any kind of contract a municipality has with a private party. So that would be one of the things that I would consider when I was looking at the finances of this lease and my recommendations to the trust.
Okay. Thank you, Lisa. Any other comments, Jeff?
Could I follow up on that?
Sure.
Lisa, thank you. Are you suggesting that the Affordable Housing Trust is quote-unquote municipality? Is that what you're stating?
Right, you have public funds, so
I know.
you are
Right.
part of the municipality, even though you are your own entity. You actually have another layer because you're supposed to be using your money to provide affordable housing. That's clearly what your trust document and the bylaw and the state statute require. So you have a lot of balancing here. That's why I'm thinking, how does the junior theater use of the building support the mission or the purpose of the Affordable Housing Trust? So, for example, let's say that you built, several duplexes or, 16 units, I think maybe the Bowler report had or something like that. And all the kids that were a part of that could go for free to the junior theater for support, right? And to do activities. That way, the junior theater would be supporting the purpose of the Affordable Housing Trust. I think there are creative ways to do that, but you have to be careful given the purpose of the Affordable Housing Trust.
Thank you for that. I just wanted to make sure we weren't referring to the town of Harwich in the previous lease.
Correct.
Versus the Affordable Trust now as the present landlord. But
That's correct.
In essence,
You
you're
have the
actually
same-
talking about both.
Right, you have the same obligations under the anti-aid amendment.
Thank you.
Larry,
Brendan?
if I could jump in real quick. So in the trust docs, it does say that we can manage and improve real property. I do agree with the original thought that we're not really meant to be landlords, but we can do that. I think holding on to this property has value. Splitting it, I didn't think was a great idea as well. So I think it's important that we just acknowledge that we can be a landlord. We still have to have a capital plan. We have no budget for how to maintain the building as well. So there's a lot of issues that we have to work out on the back end. I think getting past this.
Right.
You know,
But the power to, you have to go back up to the original power of the trust and purpose of the trust, right? It's for affordable housing. So yes, of course you can be a landlord. Yes, you can make investments. Yes, you can buy and sell property. All for the purpose of affordable housing.
right, but this is unique because we have a lease to 2034. So that's why.
Without question. So that's why we're trying to figure out how it all works together.
Yeah, and if we're gonna have like more of an open discussion, I always thought that we would honor that lease.
Yeah.
And if we were ever to do anything different, get together with the junior theater, even if we were gonna put affordable housing there or the Bowler report, building 8 or 16 units, how would that affect the junior theater with parking and everything else? So I think when that time comes, they should be part of that conversation.
Yep, agreed.
And may I, I'm sorry, Bob, go ahead if you.
No, I just wanted to make the point that by town meeting vote, the town said there will be cultural enrichment and in that building. That's what it's for. That's what it's to be.
What was that in the explanation or in the actual article?
That was in the article.
Okay. Jeff?
That was part of the point I was gonna bring up, is it is imperative that this board keep everything wildly transparent with the public, because
Yeah.
if we're gonna be working with the junior theater and offsetting some of the costs that it takes for them to utilize that building, and as Lisa put it, there has to be a connection between how what we're doing with the junior theater supports affordable housing. We really need to keep everything right in front of the
Yeah.
voters, because in essence, the voters are the ones, again, taking care of the Harwich Junior Theater by way of CPC funds and cell tower funds and the other ways that we're funded.
Yep.
So I just wanna, and we do a hell of a job with transparency, and I wanna keep it going.
Yeah.
And I don't want this to get lost, because it's kind of like a second or tertiary thing that we
Right.
do. It needs to be right out in front.
Yep.
Yeah,
Thank
I
you.
think that lease extending another 8 years is the main issue.
100%.
Yep, good.
In everything that we want to do, so.
You said you didn't wanna speak.
Hearing your discussion prompted me to want to speak.
He's
I couldn't
inspired.
believe- I couldn't believe who was not going to speak.
I knew it wasn't true.
Mr. Chairman, Richard Waystack of Harwich. A question for the board. Where do the funds go from the lease? Where do the funds go?
I think Jeff was raising that. I think right now they're not coming to us, they're coming back to the town.
They're going to the town.
And if I can speak through you, Mr. Chairman, to the attorney, as a landlord myself of a commercial and residential buildings, the purpose of the trust is to support affordable housing. If those funds were coming to the Affordable Housing Trust Fund, that would be going to support affordable housing. On the point of capital improvements, you can remind me, Mr. Handler, through you, Mr. Chairman, that another asset that the town has with the lease was before the board to get some assistance with insurance. I believe that was the South Harwich Meeting House, that they were given funds from the town for insurance, which basically is assisting a nonprofit with capital costs. So I think there's precedence of the select board anyway, who have used funds to assist a nonprofit who has a substantial lease with the town. So I think things can be figured in such a way that if the funds were coming as they should, if the Affordable Housing Trust is the landlord of this particular building, the funds were set aside for the Affordable Housing Trust, it would meet the needs of the law number one, supporting affordable housing. And the capital issue is a good discussion for down the road.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you, Richard. Anything else? Lisa, this is a good discussion, but what's your time frame?
So when is your next meeting?
It's a month from today. The
How about-
first Tuesday.
How about if I get it to you before then?
That'd be great.
That'd be great.
That'd be fantastic. Get it to us in 3 weeks. We just had a discussion of trying to be sure, Lisa, we get our agenda packets out a week before the meeting.
Sure.
So it can be, as Jeff points out, we want to be sure everything's out in the public.
The meeting is on the 13th of April, so we would need
Okay.
to have it by the 6th. If I might make one more point.
You may?
Larry and I met with Chuck and Susan probably over 2 years ago, maybe now. And the first thing that was said in that meeting was to make it clear that we had no interest in dislodging the Harwich Junior Theater. We made that clear, and we've been clear about that all along. And I just want to be on record as acknowledging a partnership that has been here in place since we initiated this conversation, and I anticipate that same partnership will continue to grow and be strong as we go forward. Thank you.
Thank you, Lisa, and be sure, I'll give you the contact names that we talked about, and if anything else I can help with, let me know.
That'd
Before
be
you-
great. Thank you very much.
Well, don't leave yet, because you have another project I'd like for you to, I know you're not prepared to talk about today, but just briefly,
Sure.
I've asked Lisa, and we voted on, to look at Bassett Lane as part of the 456 Queen Anne Road. And that will take a second priority to this, but maybe we could schedule that for the May meeting. And the issue there is that's a paper road that borders, actually cuts down about the middle of the property, the southern part where it's under development for affordable housing. The northern part is undecided at the moment. But the question there is what are our rights to that paper road? Is it, well, enough said. We need to clarify exactly what we can and can't do with that paper road.
You got it. I can do that.
That
Okay.
May meeting would be May 12th, Lisa.
Okay. So that may, I'll take a look at that. I'm in the middle of town meeting season in the middle of May, so
Right.
I'll have to get back to you on that date.
Okay, good.
Okay.
Our deadline is we have a meeting, the developer has a meeting with ZBA on that property coming up in first week in June, I think, June
Okay.
9th, maybe? And so sometime before then would be great.
You got it.
Okay,
Thank you for your time.
thank you, Lisa.
You're
Very-
welcome.
Very good
Nice to meet
discussion.
all of you.
Nice
Good to
meeting
meet you.
And thank you for attending. We have our work in front of us, but we'll gather this information, and we'll see where we go from here.
Thank you.
Next on the agenda is the, Bob, your spreadsheet.
Nope. Review item 3D.
No, we already, CPA fund, you're talking,
This is the published agenda. There's a review of the Penrose letter to the ZBA.
okay. We'll talk about that.
So, hold on, what's left? So we just have F on old business, which is the review of the Penrose letter to
Right.
ZBA.
There's a new one been out since this one, Bob. My agenda that I printed out from that is, next is your spreadsheet, and the last item is the Penrose letter.
Right, in the spreadsheet.
This is what was published?
Okay, so we have, that's interesting. We have different agendas. So we can take the ZBA letter if you want now.
So just for clarity, old business F, and then we still have half of E to do.
Right, then we have the
Which is the
spreadsheet,
spreadsheet.
which is a spreadsheet.
What is old
Here's
business
the
F?
agenda that I'm working on.
That's your spreadsheet, Bob.
No, I'm just looking at F. Okay, that got moved up to D under new business.
And, yeah. Okay, let's talk about the Penrose letter then. And I put this,
I'll share that with you.
Penrose answered, I think, all the questions in front of the ZBA, had a good discussion. I think there are two aspects of this that we responded to that came to the trust. Obviously, the one is we just brought up was the Bassett Lane, in which I informed the ZBA committee that we're doing just what we talked about. We've hired an attorney to look at what our rights are and clarify Bassett Lane, because there's an interest of whether that would allow access to Oak Street, if we wanted to go that direction, which is less than clear at the moment, but at least it gives us an option. The other part of that was, could we exit onto 124 with I think a right turn only? That might be possible. The traffic person from Penrose was not too optimistic of what our flexibility was on those access points to 456 Queen Anne Road, but that's something that we'll look at. The Bassett Lane and Penrose is looking at to clarify. Another point that came up during that meeting that I wanted to raise tonight was, would it be possible to provide a small portion of the northern lot for overload parking? And because that was a fairly lengthy discussion by members of the ZBA, was their feeling that there wasn't enough parking allowed at the site. And is there a way that we could do, and one suggestion was that we do something with, gravel so it could be changed, but provide an overload parking that would relieve some stress that would happen. That turned out to be a bit of a debate from Penrose. Their engineers' feeling was that they had adequate parking, and more parking might actually be a detriment for various reasons that beyond my knowledge. But that was one thing, and I like your opinion on that, because I have no idea what that entails. Would we have to do something, renegotiate, give them a little portion of that if we gave them a right to do some overload parking there, which I wouldn't want to do? Would we, could we do something like a license to allow them to park on a little small portion of that there? I need some more legal guidance on what we can do to provide, if that's what we, in the end, wanted to do.
So if the percent, if it's 1.25 cars or whatever they want, 1.5,
Yeah.
like, how would we even be able to weigh in on that?
Yeah.
So, I mean, I could, but,
Right.
it's not gonna mean much. So back to Bassett Lane. Are you looking for Lisa to tackle that? And she'll be the one that's gonna contact the town planner to try to sort
Right.
this all out, to see how viable that is in
Right.
DOT?
I am, yes.
Right, and if we're going to, as far as giving land for overflow parking, if that was a need, I mean, not saying we're looking to give land away, but Bassett Lane has to be sorted out. I would imagine that would have to be sorted out first before that.
Exactly. I just raised it now as a discussion point. I'm not ready to do anything
Right.
with it.
And I think Bassett Lane is a priority now, because if we can't get out on 124, we're now landlocked on 80 acres of land.
Right.
So we need to fix that potential oversight.
Yep.
As
Agreed.
fast as we can.
Yeah. The rest of the letter, by the way, Bob, thank you for sharing this, is pretty self-explanatory. I think that Penrose did an excellent job of responding to all their questions and discussions during the meeting. As always, the target discussion always comes down to traffic. And I did I did have one conversation with Penrose, actually just this morning, about could they offer some suggestions on how we could seek funds for some traffic mitigation. You know, Jeff, not to pick on the select board, but I will, because this is actually, when I was there yet too, I didn't do my job. And then you guys are, I think, but we've had.
Good recovery there, Mr. Chair.
We've had, I think some of us feel the proper word, so I won't say anything. We've had several studies now on traffic at Queen Anne Road. And the issue is that, to my knowledge, we really haven't done anything with those studies. And so, and this is not the trust deal, this is the select boards. So I asked Ryan, with their expertise this morning from Penrose, could they put their heads together and maybe come up with some suggestions on how we might move ahead and get some funding? There's a mass project, and my sense is, or at least my sense of rumors are, that you have a better chance of getting funding for some traffic mitigation or traffic actual work if it's associated with affordable housing. And maybe working together with Mid-Cape Homes, we could come up, and I suggest that as well, Bob. Maybe there's something that, not that I think it's the developer's responsibilities, maybe we can help provide Jeff, some input on what could be done to get some funding for this information. So I just want to raise that.
And I'll reply if I could, Mr. Chair, because this has been on my first page of to-do items for about the last 6 or 7 weeks. I met with the gentleman, one of the members of ZBA, and we had a great conversation. It is time that the select board take up the traffic, the safety concerns, the egress concerns of that entire region. I will agree 100% with you that we have all these traffic studies and they're sitting on a shelf somewhere and we're not utilizing them. I'll also agree that Pine Oaks, in their in part of their conditions is to assist in doing some research. And I think that's a great first step, and I thank you for that, Bob. I know I would probably guess that Penrose would be helpful in that area as well, but then it falls directly on the select board to begin moving
Absolutely.
things forward in search of funds to keep our residents safe on the roads of Harwich with all these new developments that are, coming forward, by looking for grants to pay for some of it, if not most of it. And it falls squarely on the shoulders of the select board, and as soon as our town administrator gets here, that's one of the first 3 things that I'm gonna talk about, because we gotta get out in front of it.
Okay.
So I agree with you wholeheartedly. And I'd also agree that there is money for infrastructure when it comes to affordable housing being developed. And we would be completely foolish in not doing our jobs if we do not explore it to the fullest capability. Get every
Thank you.
dime we can out of Massachusetts.
Thank you, Jeff. And, my only point was, to the extent they can help us get some, how to go after funding and stuff, to give to you guys, it'd be our benefit.
100%.
Brianna?
Hi, Brianna Powell, Housing Advocate. There is Community One-Stop Grant through the state that's, applications are due in June. And part of the grant, one of the grants they put out is infrastructure work, because of housing. So Christine and I will be meeting to discuss that.
Okay, good.
Yeah,
And-
so-
and-
Before she goes, go ahead, I'm sorry.
Well, I was just gonna say, if you can keep us appraised of how that,
Of course.
where that's going, and the, actually directed more towards Jeff than the trust right now, but
I'm gonna step in here a little bit if I could and ask, thank you for that information.
Sure.
And at what stage does the town of Harwich need to be at to even begin to apply for these?
Yeah, that's a great question. So I will be meeting with someone from the state, Mackenzie Bell, who works for the state, who does work on these grants, once Christine and I have met, to get more clarity on that.
So can I have you just send me an email as to, and you can forward it to everybody else if they want it, but
Yeah.
I'd love to know as much as I can know, because
Of course.
if June 1st is the deadline to apply,
Mhm.
need to move on this sooner rather than later.
Of course, yeah,
Thank
it
you,
just
Brandon.
rolled out last month. Yep.
Thank you.
Perfect. Good. Well, thank you, Jeff, because this is a select board responsibility, but I'd love to see, and to the extent that Mid Cape Homes and Pine Rose can help us,
Absolutely.
and Brianna, we can. Okay, good. Anything else on, I don't know, Bob, this is, what was the question on this?
The question was that this just came to us, and it's now a public document.
Right.
And do we want to discuss any piece of it in this process?
I don't necessarily, because I think it's self-explanatory. They raised a bunch of, ZBA raised questions and Penrose responded to them.
All right, so I will just include this
In
as
the
part
minutes,
of the
yeah.
minutes. Okay?
Uh,
Didn't know if
Ju-
there other
just-
members
well,
had
I
anything
would,
else.
I'll only comment, I'm hoping that I was speaking to Bob, Brianna, but I'm hoping people will read this, because there's a table here of our definition of area medium incomes and the corresponding rents, because people always ask us, where are the rents going to be?
Mhm.
Are they really affordable? And this lays it out, and very useful information. So
Mhm.
I'm hoping that people will actually read it. But I have no comment on it, other than I think Penrose did a good job of putting it together. Moving in, Bob, to the project spreadsheet.
Did you want to talk about this letter?
I do, but I was gonna do that at the
Now that
end.
we're talking about.
Oh, Penrose.
It's-
Good thing you're here, Bob. I was gonna.
You keep me around for a reason.
After my comment at the beginning of our meeting, that I want us to hold hard and fast to agenda items, I then put an agenda item on at the last moment. So when you, I guess, put my name, Valentine, next to it, put hypocrite, and just list that. But I got an email this morning from Penrose asking if we would support a letter to Senator Keating asking for funding. And it's it's part of the, I had it written down in my notes here, it's part of the community funding program. And the reason I put it on it quickly is that the due date for Penrose to apply for this is tomorrow. And it's a long shot that we get funding, but we won't get funding unless we put our name in. So this is a request of, and I can just read this to you. I did send it at the last moment, but just so it's on record. It says, Dear Congressman Keating, I am pleased to provide this letter in support of the proposed development known as Harwich Queen Anne Road. This project represents a significant opportunity to expand affordable housing options for Harwich residents in the surrounding region. The proposed development includes 60 income-restricted units with limits from 30 to 100% of the AMI to serve a broad range of households and is reflective of the broad regional need for housing. The development will support local goals to boost our economy by allowing essential workers, seniors, young families, and others who contribute to the fabric of the town to live affordably within Harwich. In addition to addressing housing needs, the project enhances quality of life through community-focused design. The site plan includes a standalone community clubhouse, outdoor amenities, and improved landscaping, creating a welcoming and neighborhood-like environment that encourages social connection and community engagement. The town of Harwich, through the Affordable Housing Trust, has partnered with Penrose to lead the development of this project. The development brings extensive local and regional experience to the project, having delivered affordable housing projects and so on. CBF funds will be integrally important to the success of this project. Thank you for your consideration. And so it's a request for funding from this project. Any discussion of that? If not, I would, well, first, is there discussion?
I'll start if you want, Mr. Chair.
Sure.
And I do appreciate you putting this in the packet. or, I'm sorry, I do appreciate you bringing this forward today. Why did, I hate why questions, but why did we get this yesterday morning?
The explanation I had was that they just learned about it, they being Penrose.
Okay, thank you for that.
Because I asked that question.
Well, yeah, I assumed you did, and I am having a real hard time based on the fact that I have, since the day I sat as a board member and a trust member, been a stickler for process. I feel this goes well beyond what I would consider to be appropriate process. I will not support to vote on this, as the public has not been duly notified. And with all the things that have been going on over the last several weeks, I think it would be a bad idea for us to vote on anything, any action taken without the public's ability to be here to speak on it. So, does that mean that we can't take, I mean, I'm assuming they need a signature on this?
Right.
Yeah, so unfortunately, I
Yeah.
cannot vote on this today.
Yeah, and I do take that point. I guess my only counter is we're trying to put a hat in for funding wherever we can.
That's their funding though, not ours, right? That's to help them with this project.
Well, that's a fine line, because the project, we're trying to get development for housing in Harwich, so.
Understood.
But
I
I
understand.
take your point. Brendan?
Is the select board to sign that as well, or is it just
No.
coming from us?
Yeah, this one.
Are we breaking like an open meeting law, or by not?
I'm not gonna, I don't know well enough, and through you, Mr. Chair, to Brendan, I don't know well enough whether or not we're breaking an open meeting law, but I believe that we are not following appropriate process, which is to notify the public of our business, so that the public has an opportunity to stand up there and say, I support the letter, or I don't support the letter.
I have two thoughts.
Yep.
Well, the first one is, I take your point that we're violating process. That is what it is. Open meeting law does allow exceptions for so-called last-minute situations.
Mhm.
And because this is due by the 9th, actually, the end of the day, but I'm told we could do it as late as tomorrow, this certainly fills that area. So we're okay on that, but, and my belief is we're okay on that, but I think Jeff is more important point is, do we want to do that? You know, there'll be other funding opportunities, but I wish it's come sooner, because I hate to miss any possibility for funding help for this project. Bob?
I would make a motion to approve signing this letter, and the fact is that we're in the middle of many moving pieces at the present time, and I think that we deserve to be able to respond and react as quickly as we possibly can when we need to. And I think that this is one of those situations.
Okay.
I, at the same time, agree with what Jeff has said in terms of we have a responsibility to notify the public of our business, and we should be doing that whenever we possibly can. And we should be doing better at that than we have been. But the motion is to sign the letter.
Okay, is there a second?
I need a little more thought on this, guys. I'm trying to figure out, I'm just reading some emails. Give me a second if you could.
I will, because there's a second part of this too. We approved this one.
That's my next question.
We also
What's
have
the-
to,
What's the second part?
The second part is we have to agree that we're, that we approve this as an applicant for the funds.
And that would be a second motion.
Right.
Is it the second document that was sent in the
Right.
packet?
Yeah. And that's their formal application for the funding.
Or that's the formal application?
Right.
Like the electronic application?
Yeah.
Ay, ay, ay.
And that doesn't require a signature, that just said, I don't want to do anything unless we agree to it.
Has everyone read that?
I've not seen it.
I forwarded it, but if you haven't,
It's in the, it's the second attachment.
but
I'm sorry, what, through you, Mr. Chair, Bob, you said you had or
I
had not?
I have not seen it.
okay.
Yeah. I was
Oh.
working this morning.
Let me see here.
So, well,
Give me a second, I'm gonna read the letter again, my
read
apologies.
the letter and
I
do it.
just wanna make
because-
sure that,
You can look at the letter here, Brendan.
no, I've got it on my screen.
Okay.
It's due today or tomorrow?
The letter that we got said, it says the 9th, but when I talked to them, he said they could get it in as late as tomorrow.
Yeah, we can't do a special vote, it would be 48 hours from, so it would be Thursday would be the earliest.
Yeah.
Ay, ay, ay.
Bill Keating calling.
It's Bill, I was like, who's calling? Bill Keating?
Bill Keating.
Sign the
Bill
letter.
Keating, yeah.
Say yes. So if
Well,
we,
I have-
hold
go
on, hold on,
ahead.
if we vote for this, we've done this in the past, where we put it in the next agenda packet as, but something we're voting on, that's why it's different.
Yeah.
To Jeff's point, I think we, I don't know, I wish Claudia was here. Could have a- You'd have your three. I'm probably gonna say no to it as well.
Okay,
As much as I don't want to, because, you know, I've been here for 8 years, I don't want something being held up. But
Okay.
just so everyone has an understanding why I'm making that decision, Penrose does send a meeting that, sends an email saying it's not the end of the world, but we can apply through Senator Markey or Warren. But this would be great to throw our hat in the ring if we can get this done for today. So I understand
Well,
that, I just hate to.
this, we don't have a second.
There's no
Bob.
second? That's, yeah.
So,
Yeah.
we'll, I'll get
Motion
back
dies.
and say that, get us the next ones in time and we'll vote on it. Because I don't want to turn down, Jeff, I hate to turn down money, chances for money.
Agreed. If there's an opportunity to push the deadline forward, we could do a special meeting on Thursday. Maybe we could, who knows?
Yeah, maybe we could,
But-
maybe we'll reach out to Ryan from Penrose and see if it's something that we can do on Thursday.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, so we'll move on that. Bob, next on the agenda is the spreadsheet, great. And,
Working our way down through the spreadsheet, Queen Anne is obviously in process. Pine Oaks 4 has been approved. 265, we secured legal services, and that process has begun. Bank Street, last we knew, was waiting for state approval, and the lottery. Do we know where that stands?
I think that's exactly where it stands.
So that's
The
unchanged.
state has it, yeah.
Okay. Bell's Neck, the state has approved, and the lottery is in process.
So, quick update, the lottery has been completed, the 60 days. I was actually able to watch it live. It was
Right.
interesting the way they do it.
Uh-huh.
Do this randomizer, and that's even a word, but they
Randomizer.
press the little button and it randomizes. And it was fascinating, and that was very unique because it had 4 lotteries going. You had the local preference for the 1-bedroom, and then you had the local preference and local preference and open lottery for the 1-bedrooms and the 2-bedrooms. So it was 4 total.
Mm.
It was interesting how they do it.
Mhm.
So I could probably give a better update when I get some of the data back from John Kerry.
Next month would be fine.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I could probably
okay.
give maybe a better, so you can get a sense of, you know, in the local preference, in that first pool, if
Mhm.
it was awarded, or did it just jump to the open
Mhm.
and
Awesome sheet.
just take it from there.
Okay, but for now, I'm just going to update the spreadsheet to include that the lottery's been completed. West Harwich Square, I used to be around Hartford, so sometimes I talk about Hartford as opposed to Harwich. That is, funding's been approved and that's in process. Rental assistance continues to be up and running, and we're replenishing, and we've applied for replenished funds. Zero Depot Road, we were going to apply for a mass housing partnership grant.
And I need to follow up on that. I did, Bob, initially, and Laura's been out on medical leave. She came back, I think, a week or two ago. So I'll follow up again and see where she is on
Very
that.
good, thank you. Oak Street, Zero Oak Street, the RFP in process. We need to have Perk and engineering for that.
Right.
Um,
And we've signed contracts with, I forget the company, but it's Dave Bennett to do it. And
Okay, contract signed.
contract signed, and as
That's all
far as
we
I
need.
know, he's waiting for the snow to,
That's all we need, contract signed, okay. And Zero Depot Street,
same,
same?
yes.
Thank you. The legal, the RFP, we've already done that. That's been squared away. Minutes, we're working on the missing minutes. Reorganizations is squared away. Leadership plan, nothing in place yet. Financial report format, that's getting tuned. And the operating document updates, that's also very much in process.
Okay.
So, I feel better knowing
bet.
that we're paying attention to all of the moving pieces that we've been able to identify.
Okay.
Thank you for your
Thank you, Bob.
tolerance.
That runs us through our agenda. Brianna gave me some letters that I'll read when I get home, and then I'll email it to you guys, and we'll put it in the packet, so anything that comes to us.
And that's where letters will be stored, we'll just keep it in the agenda packet for that meeting
Right.
as they're received.
Yeah,
Okay?
so I'll do that, and I'll send those forward.
Larry, can I jump back to the project management part of it?
Sure.
And Bob, I don't know how you feel about this, but could you add the J1, J2, J3 to that property so we know which one it is?
Zero Depot, J1,
For some
J,
reason, I haven't wrapped my head around street and
Sure.
road between the two.
J1, J2.
And then secondly, to you, Larry, in the past, we've assigned certain things. So if the example I'll give is Claudia, we gave her the rental assistance program.
Right.
Took it and did an amazing job
Yeah.
on it. The junior theater, Bob was tackling that.
Right.
And now it seems has moved back into your seat.
I would,
But I guess the question would be, do you think, it depends on how you like to work, I don't want to step on your toes. But do you want to start assigning?
I-
Because I do have interest in the upper fields, and what to do with the upper fields of the Marceline property at 456 Queen Anne Road. That's something that I can manage, but if you wanted to, it's a lot what you're doing, and you're doing a great job. I just thought, if you think that would be a better idea.
well, my short answer is, thank you, Brendan. Take that on. And Bob, I appreciate if you continue at this point on junior theater.
Sure. Yep, happy to.
Thank you.
Does that work? Yeah.
Yeah,
I
well,
mean,
sure,
is
man.
there anything else you want to dole out, or you think we're
Let
good?
me
with-
think about it. I need to pick on Jeff, but he's got a lot with keeping us informed with the select board.
Yeah, I think that.
He's got plenty.
He's good. He's
So,
good. Jeff's good.
And I try not to pick on you too much, Jeff.
You
anyway.
pick on me all day, Larry, it's quite all right, happy to do whatever needs to be done.
But with-
Okay,
but with
but I
that said,
appreciate that. Do
With
that,
regards
yeah.
to Bassett Lane, but that also includes Bassett Lane and talking directly with the attorney
You can,
and asking town administrator for permission to talk to town planner when that time
I'll-
comes.
I'll inform Lisa that you're the point on that, okay?
Thanks.
On the Bassett Lane?
Yeah,
Well, Bassett and the upper fields.
in the upper field.
Yeah.
Great.
Because that, and I appreciate the discussion we had on the northern part, because that gave me some good ammunition at the ZBA meeting, for instance, because that was a question they asked was, on this one, it came up on the northern property, and I could say, well, we're starting that discussion.
Mhm.
That's the first positive thing I could say. The second positive thing I could point to was, Brendan, your work, in that we're not looking at another multi-housing, 60 unit or so. We're looking at homes to get people into, which is Which is a good statement to say that we're trying to look at all avenues for affordable housing.
Yeah, I think it was great that ZBA had that on their radar,
Yeah,
the concern of that upper field, so they're doing their work, so
Right.
I thought,
and so
yes,
that,
we should be addressing it.
your work have provided a good answer for that. Appreciate it. Okay,
Great.
thank you all.
You done?
I'm done. Are you,
I move to adjourn.
a second? Second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
And for our one audience member